Hello guys, welcome back to J&J. Today I'm going to do some draft results here for you. Hopefully we're going to have a little bit of fun. Woo, no, wrong way. Woo, have a little bit of fun today, right? There's going to be something at the end. So I'm going to show you basically the top 3 rounds of draft picks for rookies. And then I'm going to show you a crazy draft. So look for that crazy draft in a little bit. And just got done with eye doctor. Maybe you can see, maybe you can't. I can't quite tell, but this eye should be largely dilated. Literally, they were just shining lights in it, looking at me. So let's get at this one here, and let's get this video rolling, and we will get going here. Well, let's start off with the slideshow, and let's get to the first round. So a couple things, I guess, that are in the news. Gronk just retired. A bunch of old guys are dying in the NFL. So to you and your families, to them and especially their families and their loved ones, rest in peace. We never want to see or lose people who started a great game like this and put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. But a lot of these guys are falling, passing on and not really getting the recognition that they should have the whole time. Because the guys right here that are being drafted, we're going to be talking about, they're making millions and millions of dollars. You have a life dedicated to football, where those guys were part-time football players, didn't get paid, but did it for the love of the game. So we got to remember how that started. So basically, getting into this video, we have first round, and this is how it's breaking down. And so basically, you have 1 through 12 is how I broke it down for round 1, basically, right? So this is how they're going, and you can see like a little bit over here, second, whatever, the draft position. So Hall's been number 1 every time. Walker and London have swapped. There's only 6 of them here. I was supposed to add a 7th, but that one was way too wonky, and I will show it to you at the end of this. Crazy MFL draft. I don't know how those guys were left, were cut, a lot of guys. I mean, just craziness, crazy. So that would have been a league to start up or grab a orphan and just get a ton of, mid to late round picks, because you could have picked a decent roster out of that. You'll see it in a minute. So I just wanted to, obviously show here everything that, how it's going. So, I mean, this is almost lockstep. I mean, the first 11 are just virtual lock. Dotson has moved up to be the consensus 12. As you can see in the beginning there, he was, 2 early second, or whatever. So, but really the top 11 guys were locked in place, and Dotson has moved up and become, that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and overlap them. So like it's going to cut off somewhere right in here, so you can see the first names of the first. So this is how the second round of rookies is winding up. Oh, sorry, I went the wrong way. What the heck? Well, what did I do here? Why is that not going to the next one? All right, well, let's do this. How about I add it on the fly then? Oh, no. Cancel. That's what I did wrong. This is my next one coming up. So this is what we have. All right. Now I'm remembering. Got to think once in a while, right? Had another one or team episode coming up, so I had that all queued up. So I just had to go over that one, and that's using it. You'll see it later. So here we go. Round 2. Having a little bit of a tough time seeing with my eyes. Sorry, thought that was image 9, but it was actually image 8. So here we go. Here's round 2. As you can see, we got the 13 here, and so that's how it goes. So it's the same format. The final totals are way to the right, or way over that way, right? Like a weatherman. Everything's backwards on the screen. So as you can see, and you can see the differences with the totals. So you can see how they started off in the end of May and towards the end of June, how things have somewhat shifted for some of these guys. You're always going to have outliers. with guys really liking a guy because they went to college or their team drafted them. So they want that share, right? So you're going to have those issues all the time. But we're trying to make a consensus. That's why I think this is a good representative sample as far as where things are going. FanPro's mock draft is showing things that are quite a bit different than this. I just did one the other day, and it was literally crazy. Walker was going at number 5 in one quarterback PPR Dynasty standard weekly leagues. That's crazy. I mean, this is pretty rock solid. These guys aren't moving. And so that's just the way it goes, right? So as you can see, guys are getting locked into position. Trey McBride down at 212. Tolbert, which is a good get. Algier at 210. Davis Price has been up and down a bit, but he's locking in pretty solid here at the end of the second now. That's why you want a little broader sample size. I made a couple videos a little bit earlier, but this will give you that idea. So I just wanted to talk a little bit, say some stupid things about a few of the players, and go from there, just because it gives you a little bit of time in the sample, in the video, to actually look at it and compare. So I'm going to keep going, and I only did basically the 3 rounds. And again, if you do see a 60 like on Ritter, the second last one, I put a 60 if they didn't get drafted. So I didn't want to kill their overall score by having a 0, because we're doing this like a golf score. The lowest is the highest. So if I put a 0 in there, obviously that doesn't work. So I just gave them a representative 60, which is a bit of a blemish or a black eye. But all the guys at the bottom have them, so it really doesn't matter, right? So that's where that goes. And so this is what you get for your 3rd round, right? Now, to me, it's really funny that Trequan Thornton, who was drafted in the 2nd round, is going that late in the 3rd round as far as rookie consensus, right? And even below Khalil Shakir. And I know a lot of people have a lot of value and have a lot of upside with Khalil Shakir, but he was a 4th round draft pick, and Thornton was a 2nd. Just draft capital alone, Trequan Thornton should be at the end of the 2nd round, early 3rd. So if you're getting him at the end of the 3rd or 4th round, you're going to be getting some nice value. So all Mac Jones has to do is hit a couple long, deep shots in the preseason, and his value is going to skyrocket. So whether you like him or not, you can then either decide to keep him or to move on. Khalil Shakir is probably more of a project kind of guy. So with him, if I was going to be drafting him, if I was getting shares of him, I would be knowing that I would be keeping him at least through this time next year for sure. It's taken Gabriel Davis 2 years to become even viable, and we still don't even know that for sure. We still don't know that he's going to be for sure the number 2 wide receiver. So with that being said, it's really surprising that Justin Ross is all the way up there at 3-2. And Pierre Strong is a guy who I kind of like. I think that there is an outside shot that he is New England's starting running back next year, through bell cow 3 down back. So I think that they're going to give him every shot at that, as long as he doesn't, start dropping the ball, and then maybe Ramondre Stevenson can be spelling him, because I do think that he has a much bigger talent. He has the breakaway speed, and Ramondre will still be quite valuable. But I think that Strong could wind up being the workhorse in that instance. So hopefully, I was going to do that here too. No, not that one. Leave him there. Let's see here. That one. There you go. So that's where I was going to go. Wanted to give you guys an idea and let you guys see how the top 3 rounds are stacking up, right? So now the last one over there, right? It's up a little higher because there's 1 extra pick. I was keeping track of guys, and I was starting to throw guys in who weren't on my initial board. So that's where I wound up with. So that gets you to 4.1. Anybody after that, take a shot at them, right? So that's how the draft is breaking down. Hopefully this will give you a quick screen snapshot, or if you want to hit pause when you're looking at it. This is how the boards are basically falling here at the end of June It's probably going to be very similar in holding into July. So with that being said, that's my draft update portion of this video. Now, drumroll, right? Let's get into the craziness. So in MFL, what I did was when the orphans were there, and you can steal my idea, I don't know, but I always try to think outside the box and get extra information and get a leg up on people, right? Which is why I'm kind of doing these videos, because I'd like to watch videos and I get more information and people's viewpoints. So what I did with the MFL, when the orphan market was going on, I was looking at them, seeing if I was going to acquire another team and how bad they were and stuff like that. And last year it occurred to me that I have a free pass now to get into them because I've got the code, the URL. And if I save that, put it in a bookmark in my folder, and I organized May, June, July, August drafts, right? So I can look and see how the guys are faring and I can compare them. That's why I'm actually doing the spreadsheet. It's not really to do a video. It's for my own drafting purposes, because if I like a guy, I want to know about where he's falling, and I can either move up or down to do that. In case in point with Strong, being that I was doing that, and it was actually my first draft. Well, it was my first draft, so I really can't say that. But I moved from 3-4 to 3-10, moved back. I got a third round pick, and I was still able to get Strong when I was going to get looking at drafting Strong at 3-4. So that's why you kind of do these things. And I guess my last draft, I wound up getting CJ Spiller. I always want to say CJ Spiller. I wound up getting Spiller at 2.1. I wound up trading Michael Carter away for 2.1 to the guy who had the 1.1, obviously, who took Breece Hall. So he had the backfield. Well, I had traded at the deadline. If you saw the other video, I had traded at the deadline last year my 111 for Michael Carter. So instead of taking the black eye and looking at that all day, every day, I wound up trading and getting 2-1 for Carter. I wound up taking Spiller because I don't really like Pierce or Rashad White or Zamir White. And it was too early to grab David Bell or Mechie. Brian Robinson wasn't on the board. Alec Pierce are for me and Algier. So what I wound up doing, and I had 2-7 also. So I was coming in the draft with only 2-7. So I wound up, instead of every week getting angry because I couldn't put Carter in my lineup, I decided to take a chance. I traded Carter for the 2.1 and chose Spiller, and then I wound up getting Algier for roster construction over Alec Pierce, who I liked at 2.7 also. But as you can see, right down here, where these guys would have fallen. So I slightly reached on both of them by a couple picks, but I made sure I got, what I wanted. So that's why I am using this stuff. It's for my own gain, and I'm just trying to share it with you in case you guys like it. All right, so let's keep going here. So now let's get into some crazy shit, right? And hopefully I've got these images in place. So this was a draft, right? And I'm going to kind of keep these first two rounds up, right, for you, because I want you guys to see how off this one is and why I am not using this as far as data. Just because, number one, the people in this league don't know what they're doing. They're cutting guys who have no reason being cut, right? What is this? Number 5. Ingram goes at number 5. He's a third-round pick. Yeah, I mean, he's not in this row even. So, I mean, that's a colossal reach. It'd be a colossal reach at 2.5, right? So with that, and so let's go run it down this. Ingram, Wilson, Garrett, Chris Olave. That was a good one. I mean, if you look at it, way over there, the big one. Look down here. What's number 7 right there, or number 8? Chris Cook or James Cook. He's not even over there in that draft in the first round. That's craziness. You got Javante Parker right on there. And that's not even getting crazy yet. All right? Not even getting crazy yet. So I want you to see how this draft started and compare it. Now, let's go into round 2. I mean, I'm having a tough time seeing. I'm looking into the light. I've got a window, so I apologize about that. But so you can see me a little bit better. And I don't know why you'd want to, but let's do that. So I'm looking into lights, and so that's that. All right, so that's that one. Okay. Next image up on the board here is going to be the round 2. And now we're going to get interesting. Boom. Look at this. What did I do here? Okay, yeah, so that's 2-1. 2-1 is Gabriel Davis, right? Who in the heck cut Gabriel Davis? Who in the heck cut Gabriel Davis? Oh, man. And then James Cook's at 2-2. What a steal, right? Pickens at 2-3. Somebody cut Rashad Penny. I mean, I'm not the biggest Rashad Penny fan, but I'm going to keep him at this point because you don't know how that backfield is going to turn out, right? And as you can see, he was at 2-4. I mean, that's just absolute crazy. You got Davis Price here at 2-5. I mean, look at what his average draft position is here in the rookie draft without grabbing 4 veterans before him. What a reach. I mean, then you got Rashad White, Pierce, Josh Palmer here at 2-8. Who's cutting Josh Palmer? I mean, Alec Pierce is still here at 2-9-ish. David Bell falling that far. Irv Smith Jr. I mean, granted, he's been hurt and stuff, but he's on most people's rosters. And at 2-11, is he a bargain? I don't think so, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. And then Kenny Pickett all the way at 2-12. He's not even on the second round here, guys. I mean, what is this? This is just craziness. So I can't believe the guys that were cut and people were able to draft, right? So here comes some more craziness, right? So at 3-1, Spiller goes. Not 2-1, 3-1. 3-1, right? That is absolute crazy. Then right after him, Tyler Algier. We talked about those guys. But who cut Matt Ryan? I mean, this is just insanity. Oh, my word. Okay, maybe I'll slide this over like this so you can see. So yeah. I mean, and none of these guys were keepers. And that's what the problem is. We don't have any keepers until the next round, right? So this is just crazy. I mean, Kendrick Bourne, Corey Davis, Brian Robinson, Albert Oke. I mean, it's why is Tyler Batty all the way up at 3-6 in this draft? You can get him at 5-6. I mean, this is just absolute nonsense and craziness. I just don't get it. So let's take a look at the 4th round. I'm going to show you all the way through the 5th round. There's value in the 5th round. So round here 4, right? So we got Jameis Winston in round 4. I don't know if you can see that way up in the corner. It's kind of almost getting cut off. Wan'Dale Robinson at 4-2. He's normally a 3-2, right? John Mechie in the 4th round at 4-4. What a steal. Hunter Henry. I mean, my God. KJ Hamler, yeah, if you like him, that's fine. Damian Williams, okay. Cam Akers, I think, is the first keeper. First keeper in this draft. J.D. McKissick. Tua was a keeper, I believe. And Desmond Ridder. Deontay Foreman. Marquez Callaway. There's a lot of good guys out there yet. I mean, wow. So let's get to the last page of the craziness. And I went down five rounds in this, and just so you could see. And so I pull it all the way back over. Justin Ross at 5-1. Okay, I like that value, and that's where he probably should go, not 3-1. But look at that, 5-2 Robert Tonyan. 5-3 Tyler Boyd. That wasn't a keeper. Marlon Mack. Defense, Mark Ingram. Okay. And actually, Mark Ingram there for the New Orleans Saints, I think that was a keeper, if I remember correctly. Dobbins was a keeper. James Conner was a keeper. Michael Carter was a keeper, I believe. But look at all the way down. Chuba Hubbard. Would you give up 512 for Chuba Hubbard? Would you give up 512 for Chuba Hubbard? I would all day, every day. Sign me up for that. 5-2 for Robert Tonyan. Give them to me. 5-3 for Tyler Boyd. Give them to me. I mean, those guys are third round values, and you're getting them in the fifth round because why are these guys out there? Why are they cut? I don't get it. But so that's a little bit of a fun thing, and this is one draft. It just completed. Like I said, for all those reasons, I am not going to be adding this draft into my stats down here. So I'm just going to avoid that one and move on to the next one. And probably I'm going to try and keep it at about 5 to 6. So I might be dropping off the ones in early May. Just because and the reason I'm doing it is for my sake. I want to know in the specific leagues that I'm drafting how guys are going. And that's why I wanted to look at, the numbers here as far as, let's go backwards. I wanted to see what their draft position was, right? Right? So like right here. The very first week, right here, well, the first week here, right here. That was at the very end of May, these first two drafts. After that, they're all into June. So when I get more data, I'm just going to probably lop those off, like I said. But as you can see the trend, especially in round 2, where you're getting a difference with the values, right? So you look at the group of the numbers there, and you can see where they're being drafted, what spot. So you can see that some guys are trending that they're moving up, like McBride's been bouncing around. But like David Bell, Spiller is moving up in the rounds. I mean, 17, 19, 15, 12, 16, 13. I mean, he's consistently he's moving more and more up. And part of that was my pick of the 13 because that was my draft, right? So, but guys like David Bell, first 19, 17 was at 16, 19, 17, 16. I mean, you get pretty locked in. And when I did this and I was doing the draft, the last row there, if you look, it's almost spot on for where they're at, right? So obviously, like I said, I overreached and overdrafted and reached on a couple guys, but was my choice based on roster construction, and that's why I was doing exactly this. So, well, that's going to be the video for today. So we can move on from there. I'm going to drop this one here tonight and move on. Like I said, I'll have the video coming up about my C2 team. I was trying to name it that way because it was my second copper team. So I thought that was cool, but it turned into something else, and that's the way that goes. So, but like I said, we'll get back into that. I guess last thing I'll say, this is again the first round, so if you wanted to take a look at that, if it's important and bearing news coming up, that's why I wanted to show this to you. All right, well, that's that case. Let's get back to the front page so we can go out in style. Until then, happy drafting. Take care.